Love and blessings. It's important for us not to let our children and grandchildren continue to grow up without knowing who they are, knowing the basic things in life that no one talked about way back in the day because nobody had any answers. But that same scenario keeps happening where parents never really talk to their children about the world, and before they know it, they're gone out into the world, experiencing things that they would handle much better if they were brought up learning about what it takes to be a mother or a father, what it takes just to be a human being, the strength it takes to have confidence in self without worrying about who's looking at you or worrying about what you're wearing. Those things are of the past. It's time for us as human beings, especially if you're a teacher or just a friend. Sometimes people need to know the basic things in life. Some people never learn how to even cook. Then they spend most of their money eating out or ordering out or just not even interested in learning how to cook. Like it is not something important, especially when you have children in a family. Also, not understanding bills. When your child is small, well, my son was 10 years old when I used to go pay bills. I would let him go with me to get money orders and let him go up and see that you have to pay things that you need to work. You know, I worked early at 14, which helped him to have a work habit as I went to school. Different times in my life, he saw what I was doing. Although everybody have their own journey, and they're going to follow their course. But it's important for us to explain the importance of being productive in our own lives and not always being caught up in what we see in the family, neighborhood, TV, or what is in our blood sometimes that we need to know that's there. Like if somebody has a illness or addiction, addictive personality, or mental illness, for goodness sake. All kind of illnesses affect the mind, so things will be created mentally. So that's something you should talk to your children about other people's mind, or other people's tolerance, or other people's ability to not have the ability to act civilized, or they're impaired in some kind of way, but to respect that it happens, but your actions and your feelings about the thing is what matters. If we react negativity, wow, that's the catalyst in the world. Somebody say something just by speaking normally, trying to be their selves, and you say the wrong thing, next thing you know, you have no job, your life is turned upside down because you're just being you, human, how we were raised and brought up. Nobody talked about, oh, Be sensitive to this race, be sensitive to that color, be sensitive to that gender. Instead of letting everybody know, excuse us, okay, we are really no thing other than the beings filled with the spirit within. And we are willing our character towards higher or lower energy levels. It's time to talk to your brothers and sisters when you see that they are in pain and suffering about what happened when you grow up, why your parents like this, why was this like that, because everybody never talked. That's why. Never had discussions about different things in family. If somebody was molested by a family member, everybody wanted to keep it hush hush. If somebody had a baby by somebody else, but they knew it wasn't that person's baby, oh, be quiet about it. For real? I mean, this is not the time and day to just be quiet with our children. Too much is going on. Too much has gone on. Too much, too much, too much. If you want your child to be educated, educate them on who they are, on your bloodline, on some families, they all want to be doctors or lawyers or policemen or chefs and cooks. Then there's some families like we have nothing to fall back on. Our ancestries was based in slavery, where our ancestors was kept from being attached to family. We were so off. So sometimes people wonder, why are the black people always like leaving each other and have no attachments? Because when it's hundreds of years ingrained in your bloodline, sometimes unknowingly, unconsciously, the attachment can just be there without awareness. There is no cure. Without the conversation, there is no hope. It's time to stop. Whatever you are, whatever you do, that's what you are raising. That's what you're giving birth to, because you're not healing it within yourself, understanding your own role in your own life, really how to break dysfunction starts with each one of us breaking it within, curing the self, because we're all truly, truly one connected storyline. And it's time for everybody to pick their own script, or some skip out of this movie role and head for another one. But it's time to talk like about everything with children. Children are souls. We're all souls. If you don't know now, I worked with children for like, wow, most of my life, over 40 years. So I know children are wise. And now you better know they wise, creative, millionaires, billionaires. In their minds, they can be and do, and they are. But if they're coming from a place where nobody's investing in their creativity, their hopes, their dreams, and it's being beaten out of them, but not explained why, not explained why is it that people that look like me are always on the low end of life or getting killed and hurt and all the things. Sometimes we have to look at the reality of life. Prejudiceness is in all forms of hate. It doesn't matter about the color. It comes from the hate, from the character that it be. when we cannot truly understand how to relax in our own skin and not feel guilty because we're of color. Not feel guilty like, oh, we are doing something just by being here, so somebody might have the right to treat us like we have no sense. But we have to have sense also. We have to be able to understand that in a society there is a thing as law and order. And when we run across, how can I put this, power hungry, somebody's ego needs to be boosted, and I really don't have any empathy or sympathy because there is so much narcissism going on in our world. Narcissist, yeah, everything is flip flop because everything is connected. When we learn that we can't be worried about gender, race, and color, we'll be fine. When we learn that hate, divide, and all the other lower levels, they're attached to this world. They're part of this lesson. And that people can hurt us, mostly loved ones and family, to the core. But there are lessons and tests that we're learning too, how to deal with a thing. If somebody step on your feet or steal your money, you're going to hate them for life. And then there you go with that negativity. Then you're going to talk about it. Other people are going to have their negativity. Then the kids, and then you already done stole yourself before or did things. Or other people do that. So you cannot like just hate on a person. It's okay to talk to people about things. Why did you do it? Did you really need it? It would have been okay for you to ask me. But if you don't talk to people about everything, sometimes people don't feel like they can ask you because they don't know what you're thinking. So, conversations is all I'm saying. Needs to start, especially with our children, young children, about their bodies. People are ill nowadays, pedophiles, other children watching TV can just rape each other innocently. Be a 2 or 3 year old. Oh, this is what we're watching. Okay, let's do this. Because children do what they see more than what they hear, what they're told. They're watching. And that movie is playing of what they're seeing you do, not what they're hearing you say, more than anything. And the most damaging things is when you don't say, I love you, hug them, even if they're in a little trouble. You don't make them so afraid of you that they do a little thing, but they gotta hide it because they're gonna get screamed at. Come on now, it's a new day. Do it the new way, because these children are not, hey, they're not like me, born in the 50s. You know, you don't want to just keep damaging them and letting a computer run their whole world, which starts with babies. It is not cool to see these little bitty kids, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, just walking around with laptops all day long and stuff. Come on now. If we don't save ourselves, we're just not going to be saved. Okay? If we don't stop with always wanting to be what everybody else is, we're just what? Come on. Be so beautifully unique that we each are. Unless, as a people of color for sure, But to me, we're all souls, so I don't know if some souls come back or they're connected to another soul on a soul level, so it could be a same-sex people. Whatever you do it with love and peace in the community, you know. But the hate and the divide, and if you got more than 10 cars and you see somebody that you know, a family or something, that need a car, and you can't give them one and help, maybe somebody to have a job, then they could work. Or if you have like extra clothing, but someone in your church or community has no clothes, but you have like 3 or 4 closets, guilty. But I try to give people things, and I have anything that anybody needs that I just give when I see that they are in need. Because that's what we should do. If I know my neighbors are older and they can't get to the store, I know how to bring them a case of water, tissue, or anything, ask if they need anything. We have to help. If you see children hanging in the store, one of them have $1, but the other ones just followed and they all want something, it's okay to help them so they don't steal and have to run from the police and get shot. And for our older people who know not to put the ego, but when you go with fear and then the adrenaline is rushing, especially if you're on alcohol, medication, or whatever, and you get to running and get to reacting. Calm down. Authority is in you. Have confidence. Do what you need to do that the law and order in your state is telling you to do, so you can live to sue if that's the case. But don't die. Don't follow the plan that has been laid out since the 80s, okay? To get rid of, kill, destroy, make hate self. That was the whole 300-year slavery plan that's working just fine. A lot of people has accomplished great things because of civil rights, but we still are not talking. People can work and go to college, but never talk to their kids about sex or about Uncle so-and-so that might have touched them when they were little or they were too scared to talk about it. It's not that it's Uncle so-and-so, it's spirit. We have always been fighting against principalities in high places. And most of those high places are in different places within us, in the secret places, not talked about. So, time to talk about it. Can't blame people. Whatever situation I get into, however it works out, I'm blaming me because I'm the one allowing myself to be in it. But children has an opportunity to understand it, the opportunity to know if your parents are fighting every time you turn around, hey, this is what happens because of alcohol, or this is what happens because of we got married but we really wasn't in love. So we stand together to make each other miserable, which is going to change the life of your child. And then they accept that. And look at our world. Come on now. However you want to be in the world, it's time to talk to each other and understand some of the things that we do and say we're not even aware of. It's to trigger you. God has a plan. We've always been tested. We've always been able to make the decision to react a certain way or not to respond to a certain thing. But when you make the choice without informed conversations from childhood on up, from teenagehood to early adulthood, with the understanding of the world we live in, and the understanding that sometimes we go into dark places where dark spirit messes with the darkness that can be within us, and people get shot, people get hurt, people say ugly mean things, and then the next day they're like, oh, did I do that? Yes, because we're not having a conversation about conscious awareness, self-awareness, self-love, peace, differences. If you were born with one leg, two legs, or five, a whole body stuck to you, or no, half a body, or whole, we're all souls, no matter what the package look like. So teach your children to have love for the Creator within and the Creator without, because it's all one. And we are no bigger, no better, no lower, no higher than any other being walking on the earth looking like human. Being, walking, walking sheep. Examples of boredom, lack of enthusiasm, because the world is turned around. So we need to flip it back up, starting with conversations, starting with treating each other with love and respect, starting with the authority of each individual within to respect self enough to respect another. We really are truly connected. It's like we can't be mad because sometimes it looks like more men have husbands than women, or women are hooking up, and but you got to respect the process of talking to children about the reason why. It's like the soul connection to another drew us together, not because, oh, I like the way she wore that dress, it was like one that I had, or whatever. Talk about the reason why you're in love with the person that's the same sex. Because your hearts, your spirit, your soul was tied together, or have a mission, or a journey, or a lesson. Pretty much lessons and tests is what we all go through. But explain to the kids. Don't just like, oh, this is the way it is. This is, no, they know how it is. And let them be able to have a choice. Because sometimes children in the same sex relationship homes without conversations will automatically feel like, okay, this is what we supposed to do. I'm supposed to get a girl because I'm a girl. Let me get a boy because I'm a boy. No, we're all souls. If your soul is tethered to a same sex, then that's what it is. But have the conversation. That's all I'm saying. If the education system is lying and not teaching our children about things in life, and not showing them the unfairness, not teaching them how different groups of people classify the race, creeds, and colors, but really are all one soul here on different levels, learning different things, should not hate or feel like inferior to another. You don't need to bow down to a queen when she walking on two legs like you. It's okay to wave and say hi, how you doing? But there's only one creator, only one. And it should be shining through all of us. That's why we should always teach our children and ourselves to love and respect ourselves. Because the nothingness of the body that we love and appreciate is just the house. It is the church. But the inner, it is the Holy Spirit. Teach your children that. Love and blessings. It's a windy May 1st. Happy May Day. Love and blessings. My name is Yvonne Moore, and I'm a soul. Peace.